Hi class, welcome to week 5 of your hospitality facilities management class. I hope you all had a good week 4. This week our topic is laundry operations and management facilities. At the end of this week, you'll be able to explain the planning process of an on-site laundry facility, explain the flow of operations for an on-site laundry facility, understand the difference between an on-site laundry facility and an off-site contracted facility, and learn terminology for the type of detergents used and their purpose. Decision making. Laundry at a hotel will typically include sheets, pillowcases, blankets, bedspreads, duvet covers, duvet inserts, comforters, towels, including guest use towels, full towels, and cloths or rags that the housekeeping department will use, and may even include linen that the restaurant or catering department uses, such as tablecloths, cloth napkins, kitchen towels, and chair covers. The hotel can decide if they want to manage their laundry on-site with their own fully equipped laundry room or if they want to hire an outside laundry contractor. Choosing between the two will depend on the laundry needs of the hotel, cost differences, and the space they have available for the laundry, and their ability to staff the laundry room. We've already talked about how the success of the housekeeping department is dependent on how the planning of the department goes. The same can be said for laundry operations. When the hotel is in its design phase, a few questions will need to be answered to determine what option of laundering the hotel will provide. First, what is the maximum output the laundry room will be expected to handle? Think of this in terms of pounds. The number of pounds of laundry will be determined by the hotel's occupancy levels. The laundry room needs to be designed to handle the maximum. Next, how much equipment would be dedicated to the on-site laundry room? The exact laundry needs, the amount of equipment, the amount of linen needed on hand and in storage will determine the space needs. Should the property owners consider adding extra space for growth purposes? Next, the decision of how much equipment is needed will need to be made. This will depend on the type of laundry being done, along with the amount. And lastly, will the property offer valet dry cleaning services to their guests? If so, they'll need to send out the laundry to an outside launderer, or will they decide to handle it in-house? If they choose to handle it in-house, they'll need the equipment, staff, and supplies to accommodate the service. And of course, we cannot forget about our sustainability practices and energy management strategies. Those need to be considered, especially when making equipment purchasing decisions. The number of rooms a hotel has in inventory and any other amenities they may offer will be part of the planning process. A small property with less than 150 rooms will process approximately 400,000 pounds of laundry per year. They'll typically need washers, dryers, and a flatwork ironer. The housekeeping manager may decide to purchase no iron linens to avoid the expense and labor of ironing sheets. A small property will need 400 to 800 square feet for their laundry room. A medium property with 150 to 299 rooms will process approximately 1.5 million pounds of laundry per year. They'll plan for 2,000 to 3,000 square feet of space, but could be as large as 7,000 square feet. They will require larger equipment for larger loads, flat work ironers with folding capabilities, steam cabinets, and possible valet service equipment if they choose to offer that service. A large property with 300 or more rooms will plan for 800 to 18,000 square feet of space for their laundry room, and they can process as much as 8.5 million pounds of laundry per year. The types of linen that will be washed will be an important decision for hotel leadership to make. If the hotel is part of a brand, they may not have a choice in what fabric the sheets are made from. The sheets and the entire makeup of the bed will be mandated by the franchise or ownership group. This could very well make the planning of the laundry room easier since the decision of what is standard is already made. The fabric of the linen will affect the cost of the linen. Some more popular fabrics include cotton, wool, acrylic, polyester, nylon, and blends. Let's quickly review par levels. Remember, par is the count of inventory the hotel should have on hand at any given time to efficiently operate. Think of it as 1 par equals 1 level of output at the maximum occupancy. So if your hotel has 100 beds, you will need 100 sets of sheets to fully outfit the hotel at 100% occupancy. So how many pars should a hotel have for linen and terry? The answer is 4. One set in the room for each bed, so a clean bed with sheets on it. One set on the shelf, which will be used next. One set is dirty, and one set is being processed for washing. Keeping a lower par level of linen and terry will not save the hotel on supply expenses. Instead, linen will be washed more frequently, reducing its lifespan and causing it to be replaced more frequently. It could also mean that the room attendants are waiting for linen to finish washing because there wasn't enough to go around after a high occupancy night. Keeping a par of 4 is important to ensure the laundry room and the room attendants can operate efficiently. Monthly inventory counts will help the housekeeping manager confirm their par levels each month. If they're short in any area, they can use their budgeted linen or terry expense to purchase replacements. On this screen, you have a cycle of laundry chart. The cycle of laundry is as follows. Collect dirty linens, transport those dirty linens to the laundry room, sort them, load them, wash them, extract them, drying, finishing, folding, storing, and of course, transferring and using them. It will be the responsibility of the housekeeping manager to put procedures in place for each of these steps. The housekeeping manager will need to consider the life of the linens and the efficiency and expenses that are required to keep the laundry room operational. Collecting dirty linens and transporting them to the laundry room sounds easy enough. Once dirty linen is removed, it should either be placed down the hotel's laundry chute where the linen and towels will make its way to the laundry room. Once it's in the laundry room, the laundry attendants will sort it and prepare for it. If the property doesn't have a laundry chute, the linen may go into a dirty linen bin where it's brought to the laundry room when full. Or the room attendants may use specific linen bags to sort linen and then bring those to the laundry room. The room attendant may also be equipped with the appropriate stain remover spray to treat stains before the linen makes its way to the laundry room. In my hotel, we did not treat stains in the room. Our laundry attendant, who was amazing, was trained and was really good at tackling stains with the appropriate chemicals. This all depends on the setup of the laundry room and the preference and procedures of the housekeeping manager. Time to sort. In my experience, sorting is the biggest time consumer when it comes to laundry. It's also the one task I hated. It's important that when linen is delivered to the laundry room, it isn't wrapped and balled up. I've had attendants take all of the dirty linen, towels included, and put them into a pillowcase and then drop them down the chute. The towels will soak the sheets, and on top of that, the laundry attendant will need to separate all of it, and that takes time. A best practice is to place each item down the chute separately. Once the laundry has made its way to the laundry room, the laundry attendant will sort by linen or terry type and then by soil type. Items that are soiled need to be separated so they can be treated and washed separately. Heavily soiled items will be washed with heavy-duty formulas and longer wash times. Moderate or lightly soiled items will be washed with gentler formulas and require a different cycle. It's important to process laundry in the correct cycle based on their soil. If they're all washed together, they'll require a heavy-duty washing, which can shorten the life of the linen, causing it to be replaced more frequently. Housekeeping cloths and rags should never be washed with linen or terry intended for guest use. Sorting by linen type is imperative. The type of fabric and the color will require certain formulas and water temperatures. Most commercial washers today can accommodate a wide range of fabrics and temperatures, as well as heavy-duty and gentle cycles. Loading the machine to its capacity is another important consideration. You don't want the laundry attendant to wash too little, as that can waste energy, water, and detergent. At the same time, you don't want them to cram the washers full because that will not be very efficient for cleaning. Washers are designed by poundage. The weight the washer can handle is based on linen when it is clean and dry. For example, sheets are usually dry when they are loaded into the washer. So if the washer is rated for 50 pounds, it can handle exactly 50 pounds of dry linen. Towels, however, are a different story. Towels are almost always wet or damp, meaning terry can weigh 40% more wet than when it's dry. Therefore, the laundry attendant would need to load 70 pounds of wet terry to bring the load to capacity. 70 pounds equals about 50 pounds dry. As a best practice, I was taught to use my hand as a measurement. The idea was to stuff as much as you could in the machine until there is a hand's width of space from the top of the washer to the laundry. Some laundry rooms will be equipped with a special scale that weighs laundry. You might find this in large hotels with hundreds of rooms, but they won't usually be found in smaller economy or select service hotels. Quick story. When I was in college, I worked as a night laundry attendant at an extended stay America hotel in Rhode Island. When I first began the job, I thought I was in way over my head. The property was small, it had less than 100 rooms, and because it was an extended stay property, housekeeping was only provided weekly, and there wasn't much laundry to do each day unless there were a lot of checkouts. In fact, it was so slow at times, I would bring my own laundry from home and do it at the hotel, which is something I don't recommend. One, you shouldn't do that, you'll get in trouble. Two, the detergent and the machines are not made for clothes. Anyway, the machines this hotel had were very extravagant and they were high tech. I quickly learned that they were fairly easy to operate as long as I knew what I was washing and what it required to be cleaned. First, I needed to figure out how much time it would take to complete one load based on its soil and what it was. Linen took longer than terry. So to plan accordingly, I would wash linen first and terry second. Next, I needed to know what temperature to wash at. For the purposes of energy saving, the lowest temperatures are always the most cost effective. If the load was heavily soiled, I knew I needed to use high temperatures. At the same time, some detergents are most effective at specific temperatures. At this property, I knew that the most soiled items needed the highest temperature with a specific cycle that had the hottest water. The laundry machines that are available today can be programmed to be specific cycles, so much so that they'll measure the appropriate detergent for you, know exactly how long and how fast the wash and spin cycle should be, and whether extra rinses are necessary. We discussed the chemicals we use in the guest rooms. Detergents and stain removers are still part of our chemical supply. The chemical company the hotel chooses as their vendor will be able to provide the best detergents, softeners, and stain removers that work best for the type of laundry the hotel is washing. What chemicals do we use in laundry? Well, the most important chemical that we use is water. Yes, water is a chemical. Approximately 2 to 5 gallons of water are used for every pound of laundry. We do have to keep in mind the water's composition and whether the water that is naturally provided to the hotel is hard or soft. Hard water is damaging to the equipment and the laundry it's washing. If the water at the hotel tests hard, the housekeeping manager will need to purchase certain chemicals to add to each load to soften the water. Or the hotel may need to consider the installation of a water softener. Hard water does reduce a soap's ability to clean. On this slide, you'll see a couple of different terms here for the types of detergents that we use in the housekeeping department. So make sure you take a moment to review these. And again, you can download this PowerPoint. It will be in Blackboard, and all of the notes are in the notes section. So I'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. All right, we are going to continue on with our wash cycle. Once the load has gone through the wash cycle with its appropriate detergent, the spin cycle will be completed. Just like when you wash your own laundry, the spin cycle is necessary to remove any excess water and weight and allows for a more efficient drying. Once the load has completed, you can move on to drying. Now, your book states that towels, washcloths, and some no iron items will be the items to go into the dryer. That isn't necessarily the case. Sheets can be put into the dryer. They just need to be dried appropriately. There are other types of drying equipment available, such as steam tables, or excuse me, steam cabinets and steam tunnels. We will go over these pieces of equipment in a few slides. Drying times and temperatures will vary depending on what the item is that's being dried and how wet it is. Drying will follow a process of temperature, and at the end of the cycle, a cool down will finish it. I know it's tempting to pull the laundry out of the dryer when there's just a few minutes left, but it's important to let the dryer complete its cycle. Pulling hot items from the dryer can cause damage and rapid wrinkling. Once the cycle is completed, then the laundry can be removed and promptly folded. Determining the correct dry times will be dependent on the type of dryer, how wet the items are, the climate temperature, and the temperature of the laundry when it's removed from the washer. The housekeeping manager should run test cycles for each item that will require washing and then write up instructions on how each procedure should be conducted. This will also be efficient for their operating procedures and ensure the laundry times are exact so that staff can be scheduled accordingly. Dryers can be programmed for each specific linen type, which makes the process simpler. Just like a washer, the dryer is rated for clean, dry weight. A 100-pound dryer can handle 100 pounds of dry laundry. Dryers should always be loaded to capacity. The amount of linen loaded is not an indicator of drying time. As always, safety should be kept in mind. Lint traps need to be cleaned after every cycle. The thermostat should be working and gas flames should be checked for proper adjustment. Failure to care for the dryer can result in smell and scorched linens or malfunctions of the dryer. Depending on the hotel, ironing may be required of sheets, pillowcases, and even perhaps tablecloths and napkins if the laundry room handles laundry for the food and beverage outlets. Ironers come in all sizes. If a property chooses not to have an ironer, they may opt for a steam tunnel to prevent and get rid of wrinkles. At my hotel, we had a handheld steamer that we only used occasionally, but we only needed it if sheets were wrinkled, and they would only be wrinkled if they weren't dried properly. Now, folding is where the fun really starts. The folds that I learned throughout my career in the hotel industry are the same folds I now use at home for my sheets, towels, and kitchen towels. In fact, all of my personal sheets and my kids' sheets are folded into sheet packs and stored neatly. It's my favorite thing. The goal is to fold laundry as soon as it's dry. This will prevent wrinkling. Ideally, if there is one bin of towels and one clean bin of sheets and just one laundry attendant folding, then the sheets should be given priority. The sheets will wrinkle quicker, so it's important to avoid that and take care of them right away. Depending on how the laundry was sorted, there may be a mix of sheet types and sheet sizes. Best practice is folding each sheet type and placing it into one pile. Once they're all folded, sheet packs can be assembled. There may be an odd number of top to bottom sheets, but that's okay. Those can be set to the side until their partners are washed, and they can be made into a sheet pack later. Towels should be folded the way they're going to be displayed in a guest room. The only exception would be washcloths. Those can be stacked neatly, and the room attendants can fold those accordingly when they stock the bathrooms. Once items are folded and are ready to be stored or used again, this all depends on the setup of the hotel. It's best to have the storage closets filled first. Anything extra can be stored elsewhere, such as the laundry room. Room attendants love when linen is clean and will stock their carts right away. They rely heavily on an efficient laundry room so they can clean rooms efficiently and timely. On this slide, we'll quickly go over the equipment that a laundry room will require. First, we have washing machines and dryers. You might have a steam cabinet or a tunnel. These eliminate wrinkles. They're just like they sound, a cabinet where items are hung, where the temperature and humidity levels are controlled for optimal drying. A tunnel moves the items on hangers and they're dried by steam as they move. You might see these at a dry cleaner. These aren't really used in your normal hotels. In fact, they're used more in Europe. They're typically found in very large hotels with very large loads of laundry with a lot of different types of fabric to be washed. No iron linens are all the rage, and that's what's preferred. Flat ironers or pressing machines. Ironers roll over material to get rid of wrinkles, whereas a presser presses. Iron works on a feed system, where a presser requires a person to place the item and then press to steam it, or to unwrinkle it. Both can be time consuming. Very fancy ironers will also do the folding for you. Folding machines are pretty neat. There are a lot of them. There are some that just fold, and then there are others that can dry, iron, fold, and stack. They're found in large hotels, and they negate the need of a tumble dry. There's also a device called a third arm that acts just like a third arm and helps with sheet folding. We had one of these at my hotel. There's nothing automated about it. It's more like a hanger that's tall, and it helps you fold the sheet efficiently without dragging the sheet on the floor while you fold. So it holds the sheet for you while you fold it. And lastly, rolling or holding equipment. This is equipment that's used to clean linen, to store linen and transport it to the storage area. So that is the rolling holder that you see in the photo below. Preventative maintenance of laundry equipment is an essential part of running an efficient laundry room. Failure to care for the equipment and use it correctly will result in hefty repair costs and lost productivity. The preventative maintenance program needs to include a record of repair and maintenance procedures and the cost of each. If the cost of repairs approaches the cost of the machine, it may be time to consider a new purchase. Daily maintenance procedures include checking safety devices, checking valves, and cleaning filters and traps. A checklist should be created and signed off on daily. Lastly, have a contingency plan. The housekeeping manager needs to keep a safety stock of linen. They'll need to decide what par level is appropriate to keep and how long that level would last. They'll also need to consider what they can do in a worst case scenario if they're without laundry capabilities for a long period of time. Story time. One time at my hotel, both of our washers had a pipe burst at the same time. It wasn't anything that we can control. It was due to cold weather at the time. We also had a pipe burst in the lobby. However, it happened over a holiday, and I couldn't get anyone to repair the pipes for 3 days. Luckily, the hotel was slow because of the holiday, and we did have some clean linen. However, my hotel had a theft problem with linen, which we'll definitely talk about during our human resources lecture. But my linen was often taken every time it was delivered. So if I had more linen and if it wasn't always being taken, I probably would have had a large enough par to accommodate the broken pipes. We ended up needing linen to clean 10 rooms to hold us over until the next day. Luckily, the management company that I worked for had a sister property down the street, and they let me use their laundry room overnight to wash what I needed. I did have to give them a replacement bucket of soap as payment, but if we didn't have the same management company, it's unlikely another hotel in my comp set would have let me borrow their laundry room, and I would have ended up at the laundromat. And lastly, I can't stress this enough, training, training, training. The laundry attendants a housekeeping manager hires need to be properly trained in exactly how to use the equipment. Laundry sounds easy to do, but when commercial equipment and heavy-duty detergents are used, it's important that the laundry attendant is as precise as possible. The hotel's chemical company representative and the manufacturer of the laundry equipment will always be available to provide training and recommendations. Always take them up on it. Training from the housekeeping manager is also important. Just as they need to evaluate performance of the room attendants, the same is true for the laundry attendants. There's always room for improvement and positive feedback. Will the hotel provide laundry service to guests? If so, will they handle it in-house or will they contract an outside company? Remember, I told you that commercial washers and dryers are not meant for regular people clothes. If the hotel is going to offer in-house valet services, they'll need to purchase the appropriate equipment to handle it. Make sure the area is staffed and the employees are trained. Training is key as you don't want the guest clothes to be ruined due to a mistake. A lot will need to be considered if offering on-site cleaning. What time must the guest drop their items off? How much time does the hotel need to launder and return the item back? Will the guest expect same-day service? If so, what is that going to require? How much is the hotel going to charge the guest? Will there be a return on investment for offering this service? Who will pick up and deliver the laundry back to the guest? What is the housekeeping manager or hotel going to do if the guest's item is lost or damaged? The other and easier option is to contract an outside laundry company that will pick up laundry, launder it, and then return it back to the hotel. Once it's returned to the hotel, the Bell Services staff or a member of the front desk can be in charge of delivering the laundry to the appropriate guest room. Using an outside vendor for valet services takes a lot of risk and pressure off the hotel. The hotel can still make some revenue by upcharging what the valet company charges, and they're sourcing responsibly and supporting a local business. When we talk about human resources and diversity in the housekeeping department, I'll be sure to share with you the trials and tribulations I had to work with when it came to staffing my laundry room. I will say that my team of room attendants and myself were cross-trained. If our wonderful laundry attendant, whose name was Margarita Bueno, was out for the day, any one of my team or myself could step up and take care of the laundry. My team preferred it over cleaning rooms and would all ask to work laundry when Miss Bueno was out. Miss Bueno was simply amazing and ran the laundry room with an iron fist. She knew every nook and cranny of the room and took such pride in its organization and cleanliness. I hope she's finally retired and is enjoying her grandbaby someplace warm. Staffing the laundry room depends on the size of the hotel. For my specific hotel, we had 2 full-time laundry attendants. Even during periods of low occupancy, I needed to schedule a laundry attendant for 8 hours a day. To truly staff appropriately, the housekeeping manager will staff based on the hotel's forecasted occupancy. The occupancy will provide an accurate expectation of how much laundry will be needed to be laundered that day. As a best practice, scheduling laundry attendants in teams is ideal. This way, one person can be responsible for sorting while the other begins the washing. Sorting isn't typically an all-day task. Once laundry has been sorted, the laundry attendant can move on to assisting with washing, drying, folding, and storing. Then, as more laundry comes into the laundry room, it can be sorted as it's received. When the laundry attendants can work in pairs or teams, the process is much more efficient. The goal is always to process all of the laundry received for that day. However, we know that no hotel is perfect, and laundry may be sent to the laundry room after the laundry attendants have left for the day. During periods of high occupancy, or just as a standard practice, a hotel may opt to have a laundry person or team if the hotel is large enough. At my hotel, we only occasionally staffed a night laundry person when necessary. I would rather schedule someone to work later in the evening than overnight, or to come in earlier the next morning. In small hotels, you might find that the night auditor runs laundry overnight, or that the evening shift at the front desk folds laundry in the back office when it's slow. Just like any position in a hotel, job performance and standards need to be met, monitored, and evaluated. Off-site or contracted laundry management facilities. There are advantages to sourcing outside laundry management. First, the third-party laundry vendor has extensive knowledge in detergent chemicals and will know the best methods to care for the hotel's linen. This removes the responsibility of chemical knowledge, safety, and procedures from the housekeeping department. The third-party vendor is more likely to invest in equipment that is sustainable and have practices centered around water use and waste reduction. Therefore, the hotel won't need to invest in expensive sustainable equipment or worry about their water used and waste costs as they pertain to laundry. Third, there is a possibility of cost savings in labor, supplies, energy, and water expenses. Instead of managing these, the hotel would pay a contracted rate to the vendor. Expenses for both on-site and off-site laundry management would need to be reviewed before deciding. Fourth, with an off-site vendor, the hotel won't need to allocate space for a laundry room. The laundry room is a support center, not a revenue center. The space could be designed as a revenue-producing outlet, such as a restaurant, a spa, or more guest rooms. And lastly, using a third-party laundry vendor is proven to extend the life of linens by 20 to 30%. The hotel will have to replenish their linen supply less frequently, and the laundry vendor will keep an inventory of what moves through the facility. This helps with inventory count and reduces the expense of replenishing. For this week's assignment, you are going to read the case study in your book named Pennywise and Pound Foolish with Lines, and then answer the questions posted in Blackboard. You will submit the answers to your questions through a Word document. You do not need to use APA format. You don't need a title page. Just make sure your name and the week and the assignment name are on your document. If you cite any sources, if you use outside sources, or if you use the book and you take information from the book, you do need to cite them properly, and you do need to include a reference page. You can use outside sources, but I think most of the information will be found in your book and in this week's presentation. And as always, I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you next week.